because it really ties into this John Cena character, where he is absolutely in the right all the time, and he's being a really good role model. Because he's just like,
the best.
yeah, I did what I want for my body. What are you going to do about it? Gonna boo me?
It gives me something to like fuck around with the opening. It always works. SmarkZ back in the building. It's been a minute.
That's Zach. I'm Steven. We're doing intros.
We're back to intros again. Yeah, we lasted about 2 episodes doing that. It's been a minute. It's been a little minute. This is technically our second recording of the year, and we're nearly halfway through the year. We did great with consistency, but there was circumstances. Is it extenuating? I don't know. Circumstances of some kind that
we haven't figured out what they are. Yet, but
well, Have you watched the last episode?
No,
I didn't think so. He doesn't even watch wrestling, let alone his own podcast. I'm
such a fraud, honestly.
Well, in that I semi-announced the reason you were absent. I sort of explained. I used the local medical facility joke. And sort of mentioned Gary, but I don't know if you want to tell the story, explain what happened.
So we went to, We went to SmackDown and Raw. I can't believe it was a month and a half ago.
Yeah, it was a SmackDown in London.
Yeah, good show. But I really wish they would just reduce it to 2 hours again.
The keys are back.
That's why I bought tinnies, because... So we went to the 2 shows. It would have been much better if it was 2 hours, because it's just like you condense as much as you can in, and you get some real shit in there. But we reached the end of the show, and as soon as he saw CM Punk, old Gary wasn't feeling too great. So overnight in a local medical facility, Gary can snore. I'm going to say that. that man was keeping everyone in the facility awake. So I can't believe this is turning into an opinion on the NHS now. But we were in there for about 7 hours. We left about 7 a.m. So about 5 hours before the booking. There was no chance. So you've got everyone's new favourite member of the podcast now, and I'm going to get kicked out.
Nah, my mum watched it. She enjoyed it. In fact, I'm gonna start taking points to my mum. Hi, mum. Hit like, please. She hasn't been liking the videos, which is useless. But yeah, please like the video, mum. Yeah, she enjoyed. Her only concern from the last episode was how skinny Tino is. She's met Tino several times.
Okay.
She's like, was he always that skinny? I'm like, yeah. Like, he's not been starving himself. He's good. She doesn't really understand what we're ever talking about. I'm like, that's good. You'll get there. I don't know if she's interested in trying to watch wrestling to get any context. She's just watching because I'm her son. Love the support.
It's better than I'm getting. I don't think my parents even tell people I've got a podcast.
Do they watch it?
Oh, no.
He's still into wrestling, for God's sake.
I told him, I got this really cool capture card for the podcast, and oh yeah, when are you gonna move out? Supported all the way into a new home, being a ginger bastard and doing a kind of reverse Sheamus cosplay here. Like just colour reversal. It's like when Kane had the black here and the red here and the black down here. Done that with Sheamus. I'm just gonna go ahead and after sun myself in front of you guys if you don't mind.
He's caught the sun. Sorry, I can cut to me. It would just be me at this point. We won't reveal your intimate moisturising session. So yeah, I'm always at a bit of a loss of where to start with things. I was doing my confessionals. I don't have anything in particular. I'm going to say this because I feel like I need to say something controversial or apologetic to start.
As per.
Because we haven't talked much about this year because of the big gap. Like what we recorded last in like January, so I'm not gonna get into much of it. But obviously, since we last recorded, there's been Mania, there's been the Rumble, there's been Mania, Elimination Chamber, everything happened. we've even seen heel John Cena in real life. It was entertaining. We got to witness the probably one of the best parts of that lead up, the real back and forth between Cody and
it was the
John.
last time he appeared until the night before Mania, which
Yeah.
is insane because it was 3 weeks before. It was an incredible promo. Like, I genuinely would say that's up
we were
there.
there.
As
I
well.
remember our whole road. It was like being in a rap battle. It was so funny. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, like, in terms of the product, I will admit I've actually been watching way more NXT recently. Not necessarily saying that I prefer it, but I've been actively trying to watch it because I feel like that was something I said I was going to do before. I currently don't even have Netflix anymore. I cancelled it, but
Yeah, sensible.
I'm going to jump on a Pakistani account. It's about £3 a month. Use a VPN and buy a gift card for Pakistani Netflix, then still use it here. You'll love it. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I'm not even doing anything illegal explaining that. That's pretty much what most YouTubers are doing when they're saying "get NordVPN." So I'm jumping on it early. I'm just explaining in a bit more detail how you can really make use of your VPN. Anyway, back to wrestling. The product's been fun. Like I always say, we're not a review show, so I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty. I don't have many predictions. I feel like I can say I was sort of right. I didn't know how it was going to pan out, but I did say at some point that I wanted a version of Seth Rollins that says fuck everyone and just takes over, and I feel like we're getting that. We're finally getting the crazy back to Megalomaniac Seth Rollins, but in a new form. And I'm happy with that. I'm interested in where this storyline's going. My theory is, and it's not like a story theory, my theory is that Seth Rollins walked up to Triple H at some point this year and goes, look, whatever we thought the fuck was going to happen with John Cena this year and The Rock this year is clearly not happened. So let me take over and be the main interesting story because they're going to let you the fuck down.
Yeah, I'll be
and
here
Triple H
every
was like,
week.
yeah, actually, that sounds like a good idea. What do you want? He's like, give me Paul Heyman. He was like, cool, I'm Braun Breaker. And he's like, yeah, cool. And they're cooking. And I'm like, let's fucking run with this. Like, everyone's reliance on The Rock. And I told you, I had a whole pitch for Bloodline 3.0 this year that I think can still fly, but most of it, I think, yeah, like, it's not happening. Rock's not here. He's not.
No, he's too. The only time he's tweeting or commenting about it on Instagram is when he's putting someone down and saying like, it's not real, champ. My character, the final boss, trademark, is currently away doing something right now. You'd know that if you weren't such a mark, and then ruining. It's not ruining the product. Everyone's known it's fake for a while, and the Netflix Raw episode kind of fucked it for everyone as well. But we won't see him till SummerSlam at least.
Yeah, and like, okay, well, we can maybe get into it, maybe another time. I do want to explain that. I have a semi-justification for the Rock stuff, but at the same time, I'm sort of like, whatever. But that's the product. I don't really have much else. Like, I have my things I want to ask you about.
I was going to say, thanks for joining us, everyone. Catch us soon.
Well, we've got an announcement. We've got a bit of an announcement.
We do have an announcement.
You let it sort of out with the...
Yeah, it's a little tease. I did kind of just want to highlight, because, like, I noticed, I think I do this a lot. I think after WrestleMania, I have a habit of kind of dropping off the product. I kind of like the idea now of an off-season.
Yeah, I'm sort of... Literally, I cancelled Netflix recently, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't even care. I said to Olivia, and I think I said to you, I'm probably not going to be watching as much post-Mania. Like,
No.
I watched the lead-up, I wanted to see what the storyline is, because I like to just sort of know, because I don't want to come back and be like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, but that's kind of the idea between, like, instead of finishing the season on WrestleMania, you finish it on the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then you have that as kind of like your post-credit sequence, where it kind of establishes what's going to come next. Who the big bads are going to be, like you give a teaser of, like, imagine if like you ended it on Seth, Braun and Paul together as the end, and then it goes away for 2 months and you're like, what the fuck, what are they going to do next? Like, instead of having to launch right into it, you build anticipation and you actually come up with what the fuck you want to do, and you can tie people like The Rock down so they have to appear.
Yeah.
It won't work with The Rock, it'll work with Cena. We respect Cena. even if he doesn't look like Chairman Mao anymore. Fucking nice new hairline, cunt.
I love it. I love that he just admitted it as well. It's like, yeah, you're not making fun of me, so I went and got surgery. Now I've got fake hair.
Oh man, you reach a point, and I say this as a man who's letting it go. You reach a point where you just like, fuck it, I'm gonna make jokes about it. I went to see the Viagra Boys the other day, and I've been walking around with this nice new Viagra Boys hat, which has given me loads of dirty looks. And I was in there. I got this hat today. I got West Ham. Because I'm bouncing between football clubs like that. And I just said, I got a nice laugh from being around me. I was like, you know what? Maybe this whole receding hairline thing ain't too bad. So I'm getting a lovely hat collection. So it's annoying because it really ties into this John Cena character, where he is absolutely in the right all the time, and he's being a really good role model because he's just like,
the best.
Yeah, I did what I want for my body. What are you gonna do about it? Gonna boo me? Probably, yeah.
So onto our announcement.
Yeah.
We're starting a Patreon now. But no, well, we might. It might be the gateway to the Patreon. We'll see.
Fund my trip to Turkey. That's what that whole bit just now was about. What as hard as it is to kind of go ahead and run this podcast on a fairly semi basis, because have you seen the cost of living in London these days?
Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah.
We're fucked. What we can do is we can indulge in our friendship at someone's house where it's affordable. So, we would like to formally announce that we will be opening up a Twitch and a YouTube channel. So we will be going ahead and we will be going on and streaming.
What will we be streaming?
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God! You started one of my favourites. I love this game.
Is it one of your favourites?
Oh man, I was a Nintendo kid growing up. So just to get the cat out of the bag, it's going to be games. We're going to be going over the wealth of WWE, WWF games, and I think hopefully going over some unknown or maybe some forgotten titles, and really getting into it. So I've got a GameCube at the moment. I was a Nintendo kid, so I used to obviously, I was a 90s kid. I started with SmackDown games on PlayStation 1. And obviously when that branch happened of going to GameCube, Xbox, or sticking to PS2, I went GameCube because I love Nintendo. And they didn't have many wrestling games on GameCube, especially in the UK.
It was essentially the first two WrestleMania games and Day of Reckoning, wasn't it?
We will get into this.
Oh shit, is that the quiz?
It's not the quiz, no. That's just going to be the segment. I've got
I would have aced that.
But, yeah, so WrestleMania X8 was probably like the first wrestling game I owned on GameCube. I had other ones. I had SmackDown and No Roll. Was it No Roll? And then, yeah. But yeah, so this to me, and this game I really thought was underrated. Like, I loved the epic intro. I loved the way they did the entrances. The roster was a bit small, but it was fun. It was a bit different because I feel like when they had to move away from PlayStation, they were using other developers. They had to sort of, I feel like other developers were sort of like fighting to put their own twist on the mechanics or try and do something a little bit differently or introduce something that hadn't been done yet. So it was, yeah, I thought it was a good game. It might be horrible now because I haven't touched it in like 20 years, but...
I mean, it's not a really good... oh, God bless. It's not a really good sign when one of the adverts on the back is no escaping the cage. And the whole point of the match is to escape the cage. But, I mean, looking at it now, I think the graphics are incredible. I think I always get a soft spot when I see like the old pay-per-view arenas in these games.
They try to do a good job of like replicating. I think the problem is that they always got like the Tron right and like the sort of entranceway, but then the problem was the crowd generation. So you'd have this epic like camera angle, and they're like, look, we did like I remember like on the old SmackDown games, and like they had the old SmackDown fist, and they've done that thing down to like the cracks in the wall perfectly.
Yeah, and you can climb it where it looks like you can climb it. You can jump off the fist.
But then they do like a camera pan out, and then like you're coming out to ants just doing this move, like just an array of ants, and they just couldn't quite nail the audience sort of, and it just because they didn't want to spend time and money
No.
just doing that stuff.
The PS2 was a DVD player that had a controller. You couldn't. I
So
say that as a
funny
PS2
you
kid.
say that because what I wanted to maybe quickly go over was basically the games they've released. Do you know the first ever WWF video game? And what it was called?
What, was it WrestleMania?
No,
Was
not
it
even,
Superstars?
not even close. It wasn't even called WWF.
But it's not a WWF game.
It was technically.
No.
It was Micro League Wrestling, and it's funny you say this because it was on the Commodore 64.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this was like one of the early sort of disc games, the sort of PC disc games that these were interactive DVDs. They weren't games.
You had to do basic coding to get the game to run.
It was a turn-based wrestling game, for God's sake.
Kind of sounds sick. Not gonna lie.
I want to try and find a way to play this game. It looks like you can probably get about 20 minutes entertainment out of it before you max out. Yeah, let's have a little look at it. Look at the picture. Look at old Terry.
Oh, it's Tezza! Oh,
Tezza.
the glee! What? I was looking at him, I thought he was in a... You're going to have to put an overlay of this. I thought he was in one of those, safety ring things that you're in that someone who's fallen in the sea goes in. I can't get out, brother. I can't swim. Oh, so this is actually... I was picturing it was just going to be your standard little sprites where they're in the ring, they're breathing again.
Or Final Fantasy style.
Yeah.
No. It's
Tezza uses Phoenix Down.
Pictures and menus, and it tells you if you were successful or so. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit wrong, but from what I looked at, it was pretty basic.
It looks pretty basic. The first five, are head smash, wrist lock, stomp, punch, elbow. This is not Phoenix Down and Lightning Strike. I really like the idea of this, though. I think maybe it's just for me because I like the idea that you have this match and it's kind of done in this video gamey way where you've got your menus and all this shit. And then after the match, you've got a replay of it. And you can have these really well-constructed, well-made matches.
Yeah.
Because you play WWE, you're playing that hoping that the game fucks up and you get a really funny glitch. You could actually make it so it works really well. They were onto something.
And that's what I'm sort of interested to explore, because I feel like what was fun was you had people that were maybe going to go for games that were just trying to capture all the physicality, and obviously with building game engines you had to build physics engines that complemented that, and obviously we've seen it over the years going from games where they really I remember SmackDown 1, the feeling. The lack of satisfaction you got from hitting people with weapons because there was no connection.
Yeah.
It was just the animation and then the character just flopping in a different way.
Yeah, or they'd just sell it like Brock when he got hit by a Jeff Hardy. You hit him over the head and he just goes back into the corner.
First of all, it wasn't even connection. It wasn't even that it was just and then their character would ragdoll. And it was just horrible. And I remember the first game where the chair actually hit and you got an animation and it was wow.
It's almost like they had to overdo the animation. So it'd kind of snap you into place and they go
yeah.
It's we swear it hits this time. This is all you wanted.
Shut your mouth. We laugh at it now, but when you had those being sent flying and your body bouncing, that was so satisfying because it was this feels more close to real wrestling than anything we've had so far. Now it's insane and we laugh at it because we're no way, why, when you accidentally fall off the fist, the SmackDown fist, and you just
he's just instantly upside down. He's like a reverse cat. He can't land on his feet.
It was hilarious.
But SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth has aged extremely well. I've been playing this through legal means recently. And don't get me wrong, it's no Here Comes the Pain, it's no 2006. But those games, they didn't care about what kind of game it was. It wasn't we have to make it more simulation, we have to make it more arcade. It's how do we make this game fun? How do we make it so people aren't as upset as they were last year? And it's like, just start again. Do something new.
Speaking of not as upset, I'm hoping you haven't gone back, because I've got the whole list here. Do you know about the game they released when they were between the 2K games?
Between the 2K games. What time period are we talking? We're not talking about All-Stars, are we?
No, not All-Stars.
So you had... So 2K took over in 2013.
As in, no, sorry, I said that there was a 2K that was missed. Do you know about the game that was missed?
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever played 2K20?
No.
Oh, we're playing
Maybe
2K20
not.
on stream.
We will definitely play 2K20.
Yeah. Woo! It was... Somehow I bought it before I bought 2K18, and I don't regret it at all.
So what do you know about WWE 2K Battlegrounds?
Oh, man. I know it was so good that they gave it away on PS Plus after 4 months.
It was so good. They needed to make sure everyone was playing it, so they gave it out for free. A brand new game.
Look, you can wrestle in front of a crocodile. That's exactly what people have been asking for.
Yeah, just even looking at it, because I was doing the research this week, and I saw this, and I was like, this looks fun.
Doesn't mean it is fun.
But to be the main WWE game of the year, because obviously, like I said, things like All Stars, they always felt like they were like the arcadey games that were like secondary to like the main game. Your SmackDown versus Raws, your 2Ks.
They're an alternative.
Yeah,
almost.
They went for a different art style. They weren't really going for like realism. So that's what this looks like. But it does. Just from the get-go, the picture of Stone Cold, like that main image, like already it makes me nervous because I'm like, what's with the proportions?
It's really PS1 core, isn't it?
Why are they like kind of small people? Like why are they sort of like sprites of wrestlers?
Yeah, like it's like they've all skipped leg day, and they're all kind of slightly rubberized.
But they put them in a full-sized ring, but made them all a third of their normal size. I'm like, what's going on?
There's something in there,
and I want to play this game as soon as possible. I've looked it up. I found it. Like you can grab.
Oh, I have it, so you're fine.
You have it.
Yeah, it was given away on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, so we can play this. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I officially still own every game in that series. And I think we're going to have to find out which is the best one.
Oh, we're going to have to. Because I reckon there's maybe something like, there's got to be some hidden gems or maybe some hidden qualities in these games that...
Yeah.
Maybe people hated it because it wasn't the 2K game that they wanted for that year, but maybe it's got something awesome about it. I personally think All-Stars is hilarious.
All-Stars is hilarious. And the reason we got that game is because people wanted All-Stars too. It's simple as we almost got WWE Brawl or something like that, where it was kind of like backstage All Stars. Might have been fun.
Yeah.
I had no faith in them at the time.
Actually, yeah, like literally on this list, there's cancelled games, and yeah, literally there's one cancelled game, and it's WWE Brawl.
Is there not SmackDown vs Raw Online?
No.
That was one. Would you like a pear? Alcohol-free cider.
Go on then, I'll have some pear juice.
Go on. Grab a pear. Go
on. Yeah, there's plenty in these lists. So I'm going to go back. So I don't know if you saw, when do you think Micro League Wrestling, the first game, came out?
I think it was 1987.
Close, it was 89.
Oh, damn it.
Because we've talked previously about games. We talked about the Attitude game, WWE Attitude.
Yeah.
So that came out in '99 for PlayStation and Game Boy Color. But I feel like that might have been slightly different. There were 2 games before that. One was called WWF European Rampage Tour.
Of course it was. It was the 90s.
That was
I can't believe they've made a game based on the tour.
That was another one that I think looks like similar systems to the other ones. I think it might have been turn-based. Let me double check.
Still on board with it. 100%.
Oh, wait, here's the game you're talking about. The WWF WrestleMania game.
Yeah.
That came out in 91.
Yeah, because it was really Mortal Kombat like. So like the Undertaker would turn into like a demon. He hit you with a tombstone over the head.
Yeah, there's got to be a way. Someone's got these online because, like, I'm sure the file sizes for these games are probably like 50 meg.
Yeah, you can run it on a calculator.
Like, yeah. Then you get onto like your N64s, your No Mercies. No Mercy to me will always hold a special place in my heart. I love
you were a
No
Nintendo
Mercy.
kid, weren't you? So
No Mercy was the shit.
have you. We'll start with No Mercy because I played a little bit. Now I'm older. It's really hard to learn now, I think.
Yeah, especially with the button layouts and yeah, it was. But what was funny looking at it, the same people that made No Mercy made the WCW games as well on N64. There was no tribalism there. They're
It
like
was the same engine,
money.
wasn't it?
Yeah, same engine, same everything. They're like, you want a wrestling game? Yeah, we've got one already. Like we'll just swap out the moves and replace moves and swap them around with certain people because we've got the animation for clotheslines and all these other moves.
Yeah, WWE literally just went like, they make really good games. We make Attitude. Let's just hire Ukes. And then Ukes came on board and just took over everything.
Because the WCW games also were on N64 because that's when I feel like that's where the Legend of Sting sort of started for me. Like I'd maybe seen images, but like seeing the 5 different versions of Sting you could choose with no real context. I just like the red one.
Are they different guys? Are they?
Oh no, I feel like it was explained to me it was the same person, which I think made him even more interesting to me because no one else had like 5 variants of the same outfit back then.
Yeah.
Like some people would have subtle differences, but it was never like I say that like he literally changed the color of the same paint.
Would they have all been different characters as well? So they're not a different attires. Just like you could have Red Sting versus White Sting.
100%. They were not that sophisticated to code it to them.
Like, things have not changed at all. Still do the same fucking thing.
So yeah, so it's the games that I don't remember or haven't heard of that I'm most interested in. Like, there's a game just called With Authority.
WWF With Authority.
Yep. But it literally is listed as With Authority.
I've not heard of that.
It was an online wrestling game.
When did that come out?
Created by Genetic Anomalies.
That's got to be a slightly new game, right?
1992.
92? Online?
The game was released under its original title, WWF With Authority, in 2001.
Oh my...
What? Later in the summer of 2002, as a result of a lawsuit. Oh, because of the WWF stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Oh. Literally, like, I read the first line of the explanation of the gameplay and I tune out. At its core, WWE With Authority was a digital collectible card game.
I thought it was going to be turn-based. That's even worse.
That's the worst thing I've
terrible.
ever heard. Players could purchase virtual pages and assemble them into a playbook. This playbook represented the moves and abilities that your superstar would be capable of get fucked. That sounds like someone who's never played games, wants to get into games and thinks, oh, I know, let's do like collectibles and stuff and they'll have to pay for stuff and it'll be instant money for us.
Where's described Supercard?
Where's the fun? I don't know. The gamers will find the fun.
Yeah, I'm not a gamer. It's not for me to decide. They'll get stone cold and they'll feel rewarded. Or some shit like that.
Oh, I remember this one. So some of them I don't remember the names, but I remember the covers or...
Oh, Betrayal! we need
Betrayal.
A new one. We need a remade version where it's like Cody has to go and save the dog.
Not his wife. Not his
No,
daughter,
no. We're keeping Brandy as far away from WWE as possible. It's for our own good. He has to go and save the dog. And it has to be from like a reincarnated Big Boss Man who wants to turn him into food like he did to
Big Boss Man. Reincarnated
Yeah.
Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man was a fucker. He turned Al Snow's dog pepper into food. And then there could be a level where he's on the Cody bus Like, Cody's got to run along the bus and fight people, but Big Boss Man's in the Cody bus, dragging Dusty's coffin behind
I
it.
knew you were going to go into the coffin. I knew that. He's like, Cody!
I'm hitting the highway, Daddy.
Oh, God. How have we gone down Big Boss Man route? How did we end
I
up
don't
here?
know, but I like it here. And then obviously there's the ending has to kind of harken back to the WrestleMania match where Undertaker hangs him. Is it okay to do that to an already dead man?
I don't think so. I don't think... Well, maybe, if the money's big enough, maybe his family would agree to this, but I'm sure they're not getting huge amount of checks from his royalty. Let's move on from the dead Big Boss Man. There's a whole bunch of handheld console games that I think would be the most difficult to maybe get hold of and to capture.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really... Like, I'd love to have I will try and play WWF Betrayal again, but I don't think you lot are going to see this, because no one wants to see that. Who wants to see some...
I don't know. I think if we found some legal means, I think that'd be a great playthrough.
I've got emulators already. I've got emulators on my PC.
What we really need is we need Nintendo to pull their finger out and put it on the Nintendo Switch Game Boy library. Because then I could record that.
Not going to happen.
Of course not. They hate licensing things. And then get upset at you when you went, sorry, I'm not going to do this.
So yeah, we've got Betrayal, we've got... there's obviously a shit ton of like Android-based stuff as well now that's been gone. WWE Immortals, WWE Champions, WWE Mayhem. Both Mayhem and Champions come out the same year. Is Champions still going?
I don't know. It might be that and Supercard, whatever it's called. Because you can kind of relate the the era of WWE to whichever game was out. Like they'll advertise Supercard or Immortals, and you go, you either get a nice chill down your spine or you get a chill down your spine thinking about what it is.
I miss sticker books, not video game obviously related, but I miss the sticker books.
Like Panini, like football sticker books. Maybe not football in your case, but
I used to do the football ones as well back when I watched football.
I got a free one last season because near where I work.
They still do that.
Yeah, it's like £20 for a pack of 5 stickers now.
God, that's more expensive than Magic the Gathering cards.
Not as expensive those ones you tried to get at the wrestling last year.
Oh, I got more. I got Deadpool this time. Yeah,
This man.
I'm one of them.
With portable wrestling games though, I did kind of appreciate when they kind of expanded the SmackDown series to be like, this is going to be our main series now, well, our only series now, and we're going to put this on all the consoles, and they're all going to be like the same version. I really enjoyed the fact that it was always the portable ones that they got experimental with.
Yeah.
Like when it started out, you had the SVR 2006, and it was kind of like basically the same game. It was really cool. I would have loved to have had a PSP back then. But then you had like Strip Poker, and like there was a
Stacy Keebler, Trish Stratus, Pillow Fight, the WWF Game Boy game.
Oh yeah, that was in there. The Fulfill Your Fantasy Battle Royal shit. But then they had my favourite wrestler in there, had his own little mini game as well.
Oh, no.
It was little Eugene's little. You had to fly an aeroplane down to the ring.
Fucking Eugene, stop saying he's your favourite.
I'm doing it at my own expense, okay? I'm living with my mistakes, and so are you now. You allowed this.
My favourite person is Kane, okay,
Well, they're both on the same side of the political spectrum. Take from that what you want.
Did you ever play the Raw games on Xbox?
No. Would love to, though.
I remember playing... I did definitely play both of them. Maybe not a lot of the second one, but I remember because this was around the time that watching Raw was now an important... I never really got to watch Raw as a kid. It was always highlights, but... So, I think around the time... We're talking like 2002? Because it was Hollywood Rock. It was when he had that obnoxious, ridiculous intro.
Oh, 2003, like, just before Mania.
Yeah. with the helicopter and
Yeah.
like
It's
I remember
cookies.
that was the intro on that was his entrance on that game, and I'd never seen that entrance, so I was super confused when I chose The Rock. I was like, "Where's the entrance?
Yeah, couldn't they get the license?"
And I was like, "What's going on?" And then I feel like it set up like an expectation because I then really wanted to see him use that entrance in real life, and I never really got round to seeing it because he used it like a few months.
Really would have been just like a month and a half.
Yeah, because he used it for like Backlash or something, didn't he?
So it was introduced for No Way Out because they'd kind of flirted with the idea of him being a face leading up to it. It was like that whole "Do you want to boo The Rock?" thing, and nowadays we're like yes, and he was still coming out to the really dramatic "If You Smell." And then at the show, they did this ridiculous first draft of the song. And you know when you have, like, you make music, you know when you've kind of made a song and you're like, this has some banging ideas in it. Yeah. So you put all of the ideas in it. I just like, half of the song was him just going, yeah, look at the tongue, look at the tongue.
Look at the tongue, look at the tongue.
They should have kept it that version because it's so funny. It's such a fucking piss take. Like, can you imagine losing to that and he's just in the corner taunting him, just look at the tongue, look at the tongue.
I will say this about The Rock, just on a small tangent, because we haven't had enough tangents yet.
Right.
Maybe this is just the mark in me. I'm willing to believe that part of what he's doing is still a work. And here's why, right? Because when he came back and was a heel, we were still loving him. We weren't actually hating him, especially after last Mania. Like, he was supposed to be the heel, but everyone was just happy.
Yeah, he was doing something good for once.
So, like, now, where he's trying to be the ultimate heel in the company, supposedly, that's what the Raw sort of implied, that's what the post-Elimination Chamber implied. Like, him not showing up and giving us reason to hate him on a personal level, like, you're not showing up for wrestling. Wouldn't it make sense for him to try and drive the hate as much as possible before he comes back again? Because if he just rocks up at Mania, he would have just got an insane pop.
Yeah, he would.
Which isn't really the point when you're the heel.
I mean,
for the crowd to want you to be there.
Everything does point to it being a work because it's like, sure, in kayfabe, there's no way he thought, like, we'll send Travis out there, he's got this, he'll help Cena win this without me. Like, no, he's tiny.
And I'm sorry, in fact, and this is another thing, I feel like it's more of a tangent, but in fact, it drives me more insane because I'm like, everyone's mad at The Rock at that. I'm like, first of all, The Rock's not the only person who decides. Rock did not be like, I'm not going to show up, have Travis Scott, because that's A, not how it works. B, pretty sure that's not how Travis Scott isn't just some hoe that they're just like throwing around and just decide, oh, you make an appearance on my behalf. That's just not how it works at all. Like, this would have been planned for a while, right? And I feel like the reaction, they surely would have preempted the reaction, like, well, they're going to expect The Rock. It's like, and then they would have thought, and they're not going to get it, and they're going to be so mad.
Yeah.
And The Rock's like, that's what we want, right? We want heat.
But is that good heat?
I think people are more mad because the match was actually shit, because, you know.
From
the thing I said to you that day, I was like, this match is going to be boring as fuck.
It was better than I thought it would be. That's how boring I thought it was going to be. But, like, the first half of it, yeah, I didn't mind that, though. Maybe it's just because I do kind of enjoy, like, late 80s, like, Ric Flair shit, where it is just really exaggerated, and they didn't do as many moves, but it counted, and he all had character and personality. That's what I felt like I was getting with Cena, because he was showing off this new moveset, which consisted of punches while scowling. And I didn't mind. And then you got to halfway and it's like, they don't have enough gear in them, do they?
No, that was the problem. This is the main event of the 2 nights, and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm watching like the first wrestling match ever? Like, this is so boring. I was like, maybe there's some call outs, like some throwbacks or shout outs to like some some ancient shit, but like this is fucking slow.
References left, right, and centre.
I'm like, my gosh. But yeah, that was it. Just the Rock key, because he's still one of the greats, and he's one of my favorite people to play as in the games.
Yeah, those punches are always fun. If you hit the combo and he goes for the little 60 quid worth it right there. In fact, Nintendo, when it comes out on Switch 2, £85 please. We'll have our games for 85 over here. As you can tell, I'm not getting a Switch 2 anymore.
I'm not getting a Switch 2. Move to PC.
Yeah, that's the plan. I had, this is a tangent. I had a PC picked out and everything. And then I saw that they sneakily took off the 0% on finance. I was like, you naughty, cheeky.
Naughty.
It was like an Acer Nitro 15, something like that. So, it's already updated.
I was like, I've got a Nitro 5 I got like 4 years ago. I was like, they're on 15?
Something like that. I know they've got an Acer Nitro V5. Or maybe I was going for a Nitro 5. I don't know. All I know is it won't run your favourite game, Doom, The Dark Ages. Anyway, back to the video games.
So, there's a interesting venture that I noticed, because I've never in my life seen a WWE, WWF arcade game, like in an arcade.
My sister has. I'll ask her where it is and maybe we could do a day out.
There's one called Royal Rumble.
That was it.
WWF Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I guarantee there wasn't a Royal Rumble match in it. There never is.
I don't know. They all look like, it's from like 2000, so it has exactly the same graphics as SmackDown 1 and 2.
Oh, nice.
In fact, I think it's literally, it's made by the same people.
It would have just been like, get some of the assets, cut it off like you're doing a demo, and make people pay like £1 a pop each time they want to play it.
Ooh, interesting tidbit. I love like random facts. This Royal Rumble arcade game was Big Show's only appearance on the 2000 roster because they removed him from SmackDown 2.
Oh yeah, because he was in OVW. Oh, he loved his cigarettes too much.
Literally, it says, like, he was removed from SmackDown 2 No Raw and WWF No Mercy due to his demotion to Ohio Valley Wrestling.
I love how they point it out as well. They point and laugh at this poor fucker.
Coincidentally, he returned at the Royal Rumble.
Was that the 2000?
And this was the first appearance of Kurt Angle and Taz in WWF video games.
It's Taz!
It's Taz.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because they debuted at that year's Royal Rumble. So, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, these games are... I think some of these are going to be like impossible to try and get a hold of, but I can't wait to play a classic Royal Rumble.
I would really like to try the arcade game. That's the kind of rarity I want where it feels like even a lot of like the real diehards who play the games like all day, who run their online feds and shit like that, they won't have played it. And I really want to get hands on with it, especially because if it is basically SmackDown, it feels like you're playing like a parallel universe version of SmackDown. That's fun to me. It's kooky. I like that.
I'm just trying to find all the ones that are just named after like pay-per-views or PLEs.
Yeah. Well, you had Survivor Series on the Game Boy Advance.
I've literally just pulled that one up now.
That one was really interesting to me.
That's John Cena on it.
Yeah, that was pre-title win. That would have been the night where he came back after getting stabbed. And he kicked the shit out. Yeah, he beat the shit out of, I think it was probably Jesus in the car park. I had that.
There's actually no info on the game. It literally just tells you about the release. Reception. Received mixed reviews according to the video game review aggregator Metacritic. Very insightful Wikipedia. Yeah, obviously got all the 2K. I forgot like how soon 2K really went away. No, sorry, sort of how recently it sort of came in. Because I feel like SmackDown versus Raw. How many games did you get out of that?
Versus Raw ran from The first one would have technically been SmackDown vs. Raw 2005. Last one would have been 2011. And then you had WWE 12 and 13. So they did the whole rebrand and then 2K14, which is still arguably the best one. That game was kind of just them like, okay, we need to dump this engine and start doing our own thing. So we are going to make like the biggest ensemble ever. It's like when you got loads and loads of shit that's going out of date in the fridge. So you just make it into like this absolute buffet of a thing. Great game. Really great game.
The WrestleMania series is a bit all over the place. Because they've got WrestleMania, the first one that we talked about. Then there's a WrestleMania Challenge, which came out on the NES. Then WWF WrestleMania again, which came out in 91. There's 189, 191. Super WrestleMania.
Super!
Why do they call it Super?
Because it's on the Super Nintendo.
Of course.
Yay.
Such a gamer. Super WrestleMania!
It's the same as before, but
They literally
it's
just
purple.
they're like, oh, it runs on this higher graphic system that, in comparison now, they were really taking the piss.
Oh, yeah.
It's 16-bit. I love it, the gameplay. All the wrestlers shared the same set of standard professional wrestling moves.
Standard.
Like scoop slam, suplex, drop kicks, clotheslines, hip tosses, and elbow drops. And there's your Hulk Hogan.
What, did he get his own special moveset?
Probably.
Why would you play as anyone other
Because
than
he's
Hulk Hogan?
he's the main character.
He is Mr. Wrestling. He's the reason business is down right now and we can't get Bret Hart over.
So yeah, that was Super WrestleMania. It's funny when they release games in the same year because I'm like, we complain and say that like games didn't have DLC back in the day, but actually when you think about it, there was so many games where they just released another version of the game that was basically the unfinished stuff.
Yeah, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
So WWF Super WrestleMania was very quickly followed by WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. What do you think was different about this one?
Oh, they must have had one of the most overrated match types in history in it.
With all the same people and same moves.
Could you even interact with a cage?
Oh, you're asking way too much.
We will never
It
know.
doesn't even have a door.
God.
Oh no, there was a few variants. There was different characters on different versions of the game. Only one version had the Ultimate Warrior. They all had the Undertaker and Bret Hart. And, the TV game didn't have Hogan.
Maybe it was released in 93.
Yeah, maybe it actually was.
There you go. These days, like you'd have to wait until the next game before they could get rid of him. They'd have to pay their royalties. Like in 2K15 when they had the John Cena showcase mode, and they had some guy like they had CM Punk's stunt double for the showcase mode.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
They had like ST Grunge or something.
ST Grunge. So then you got WrestleMania 2000, of course. That was next.
Yeah.
So they wait 7 years.
Yep.
I always forget. WrestleMania.
Because that came before No Mercy, didn't it? That was kind of like try one at No Mercy.
Yeah. Yes, that was N64. Then there was weird gaps because then you had that was followed by WWF Road to WrestleMania 2 years later.
Road to WrestleMania?
Yeah, doesn't say which WrestleMania, just Road to WrestleMania.
What was
So
that on?
it would have been the Road to WrestleMania X8.
And then
No.
you had...
Yeah. What? And then there was a Road to WrestleMania X8 as well. So this would have been X7. Or 17. Yeah. So random.
Strange. Fucking strange.
Most-
it can't
most-
have been that good.
No surprising people. No, I think this one actually would have been alright.
But that's what
This
we
is a
don't remember.
Game Boy Advance game. It's got Stone Cold Kane and the Undertaker on the front. I remember this
Are they
cover.
black and white like they are here?
No,
Oh shit!
I had this game. I definitely played this.
That Undertaker has to be like that's gotta be X7.
And then then you got X8 for the GameCube. A funny thing I started to notice after this game and around this time, loads of RVD on game covers.
Oh yeah,
he was really, really hot in like 2002 and around that time. Like, so much of like WWE promotion and stuff like that had RVD on it.
Well, he was kind of like there was a giant WWE, a giant Jeff Hardy shaped hole starting to emerge, and like you had to get like the other alternative edgy guy, and he's here as well. He's on this.
Yeah.
Like. Why?
The road
he's on the back.
The Road to WrestleMania X8 cover. RVD front and center. Triple H and Undertaker behind RVD. That's crazy to think about now.
That is insane.
That's how popular RVD was.
This would have been 4 years before he won the belt. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, he was literally just the hardcore guy at this point. Just the frog splash guy with the chair. Like.
Trying to think, because like around that time he would have been the hardcore champ.
Yeah, he went between hardcore and maybe intercontinental champion. He'd never won like the main gold until much later.
They flirted with the idea of it, and they absolutely should have. By the way, part of me feels like he should have been in the main event of Mania X8 because he was the only guy from the Invasion on the WCW side who got over other than Stone Cold. That ain't right. You can't do that.
I'm just trying to see other covers that he's on. I was like,
It's not on 19. 19 was Kurt, Brock. Who else? Maybe The Rock.
WWE. Oh, this one. I've already looked into this one. I'm going to find this. WWE Crush Hour.
I've got Crush Hour.
You've got Crush Hour?
I've beaten Crush Hour. I didn't beat many games as a kid because I was a dumb fucker. And I beat Crush Hour. It has the best commentary ever because it's Twisted Metal, and like
with WWE skin.
Yeah, and you'd have like all of the stages were like pay-per-view themed. So you'd have like the Royal Rumble, which was set in Egypt, and you'd go into a pyramid. It was so cool.
Why is the Royal Rumble in Egypt?
Because it's royal. It's a pharaoh.
Makes so much sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
My favorite is just the character. Most of these actually check out. Like you got Big Show in a big rig car. You got Billy Gunn.
Someone heard Billy Gunn and they got excited.
This is 2003. 2003. So yeah.
Yeah. Trish in her little sports car.
Trish was in it. Yeah. Honestly, who else can you name?
Jeff
Hardy.
Yeah.
And
Matthew.
and Matthew.
Matthew. He loves grapes.
There's only one person that I'm really okay. I am surprised, but I'm not.
Test in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just realised I was surprised by one, but then it makes sense because of the second person we named.
Oh, Billy Gunn. Chuck Palumbo?
Chuck Palumbo's in this game.
Did he have a motorbike?
No one had bike. They both had concept car.
Concept car.
But yeah, most everyone else, Rikishi's in it, RVD's in it, Stacy Keibler's a car.
We're really going to have to play this game, because...
I want the unlockables, because there's a few unlockables. It's a long roster. Big Show, Billy Gunn, Booker T, Brock Lesnar, Bubba Ray Dudley, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Chuck Palumbo, Edge, Jeff Hardy, Kane, Kurt Angle, Matt Hardy, Rikishi, Rob Van Dam, The Rock, Stacy Keibler, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Test, Triple H, Trish Stratus, The Undertaker, and William Regal. But you can unlock Bradshaw, Christian, Devon, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Lita, Ric Flair, Stephanie, and Vince McMahon. And still, Vince has a stretch limo.
Yeah. And like, it is the whole Twisted Metal thing where like you get to the end of the game and you have to beat him to unlock him. So you have to destroy his limo
And he
in
blows up
Shades
and
of 2006.
then Chris Benoit dies. I'll cut that.
Please do that.
Then Chris Benoit's character is removed from the game.
And he comes back next week. I mean,
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. It was right there.
It does have some really interesting cutscenes, and you'll find that all of the people in the game will have IMDb voice credits for it because they all voice their characters. And then whenever they kill you, they trash talk you. It's awful.
Like when you die in Batman games.
Yeah.
They're just like, look at you. Imagine Undertaker, like, you can't drive. Rest in peace. You're like, fuck off, Mark.
Hogan just comes up and he's like, that didn't work for me, brother. All the cutscenes were really cool. They were really out there. But then you had commentary from JR, and it was the clunkiest shit. I always have just burned in my mind, Jeff Hardy has the Twisty Rockets.
Oh, one of those where they like just told them to read a list of lines. Like,
Yeah.
we'll do the rest in post. So it's just not smooth. Like early like sports games as well. It's like, that's a great goal from Thierry Henry. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And they clearly haven't told them how to say the names properly. What a goal from Terry Henry. Well done. All of them had a car version of their finisher. It wasn't the car didn't get up and do a swanton bomb or anything, but it would like launch something.
I was about to say, how do you launch a tombstone? And then I realised I was about to say that out loud, and I was like, makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
But like, what, the choke slam?
The car doesn't go. Whoop. It might kind of get caught in like a little field or something.
So weird. I definitely want to play that though. That looks fun.
Yeah, I still have it on disc. I just need to get a second controller and we're in business. I can't believe I'm excited to play Crush Hour in 2025.
There was another WrestleMania game I forgot to mention actually. It was a
21?
Yes.
On the Xbox?
I played this, but I don't have any memory of it.
It was a really weird thing because you know how games always come unfinished now? So did that, but it came when you couldn't
complain.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything about it.
You also couldn't update it.
Yeah.
So
it was just a broken mess.
Well, yeah, and it's a shame because apparently, like, have you seen the graphics on this game?
Yeah, the Xbox graphics were quite good.
Yeah, but this one in particular, like, if someone told you that was like a late period 360 game, you'd believe it. It was an incredible looking game.
Because I remember there was a wrestling game, right, where I don't know if it was this one, where the stamina bar couldn't be increased. So, like, you could literally get to a point where just both wrestlers are just crippled messes, unable to do anything. You're both just, like, depleted your stamina bars. And, like, if you don't go for, like, a pin or anything, you're both just, like, and like any you can literally like touch each other and they just fall down and you can't get up for like a whole 2 minutes.
That
just
sounds
bash.
fun.
And it was like they wanted the realism of stamina, but what they didn't introduce was any sort of limits or time limits or any sort of recovery. So you were just fucked if you beat the shit out of each other.
Good, as you should be. I love that.
What was
really that? I feel like that was kind of like the last non-mainline series game for a while.
Yeah, because after that we've literally just only had whoever had. So we had to the SmackDown versus Raws, and then 2K, and now still 2K. I want to say, and then 2K forever. 2K.
It never ends.
Are they going to move on? Like I really want. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm arrogant. I really want to pitch sort of like the Pro Evo of WWE games. Something that's like not drastically more difficult, but just calls for a bit more accuracy. Calls for like someone who understands. I can't even say understands the business, but like you got to be a bit like marky to like appreciate some of the nuances. Like like if you can have a story mode, like have like some heal and face sort of mechanics where like there's stuff you need to be able to do in the game to like get over. Like you're literally trying to get over, and like there's stuff you got to consider in your match. Like you might have done something a little bit more healy in a match, and that ruins your face, and you're trying to, if you're trying to be a face, maintain these qualities and things like that, and like don't win by count out, don't do these things, don't cheat to win. Obviously cheating to win's a bit difficult in the game, but like you could put these things in and like have a very intricate promo sort of choice thing that.
Well, yeah, you could kind of like if you had. I mean, they've done it in some of the Road to the WrestleManias back in the day. If you had like a backstage space that you could be in, it's kind of like, okay, this guy I'm about to fight is way fucking better than me, but I need to beat him to get over. So I could find one of his enemies, and I could kind of like complete a challenge, and then the guy's like, I'll be down there, I'll distract the ref. And then all of a sudden, you forge this alliance. The crowd immediately associates you with this bad guy, and your stock goes up. And I hate you a bit more.
Yeah, like just trying to be a bit smarter about it. Like, yeah, things like that. I want, like either add it as a mode or a difficulty, or just have a separate game. Like so, like the Pro Evo of like 2K games. 2K could be like the arcadey games where if you want to just be ridiculous.
In AEW Fight Forever, basically.
Which
was also given away on PlayStation Plus.
I'll play Fight Forever.
It's fucking awful.
I've heard it's bad.
Like, I can't believe that the Ukes guys, immediately on the back of making 2K19, which was great, went and made this shit.
It wasn't immediately though, wasn't it? There was a few years.
3-4 years? But it was like their next game after it. The graphics are terrible. The controls are terrible. And it's made me realise that just because you're trying to make a game like No Mercy doesn't mean you're making it as good as No Mercy.
But yeah, there's obviously, I think a lot of these games are going to be carbon copies of each other. I sort of want to weed through a bunch at some point. And like I said, yeah, the channel is going to be us going through these. We're going to make you watch us learning every single game. Like, we'll probably play a few in the background and like, maybe even think of like some interesting sort of gimmicks and, we'll do a few creative characters, or I might even do a thing where I'll try and create the same person in each game that allows me to, and it will just be like the ongoing story of this person's progression, and try and find a rival. My old school rival, my friend, I think I told you about this. My friend Dave, we used to just personally hate Kurt Angle on every game. We never liked Kurt Angle when we were younger. It was a very slow appreciation for that man. But yeah, in games especially. But I think because looking at it now, it made so much sense. But his movesets were fucking annoying as shit. Because he just had a wealth of different suplexes and like he just destroy you. And then after you figured out you could just how to reverse all his grappling, he just put you in submissions. He was just the most annoying person to fight. Was Kurt Angle.
The trauma has come out.
Now I'll probably just play as Kurt Angle. I would take his entire moveset.
Oh yeah. That is kind of a sign of maturity, is when you make a wrestling game, and let's be real, when you make a wrestling game now, back in the day, you would have spent like, what, 2-3 hours making your wrestlers, like, he needs to be like me, and now you're just like, why can't I import him from the last one? The sign of maturity is when you don't just give him all the flippy, like, Canadian destroyers and shit like that. And like, he needs to be a brawler, so I'm going to give him all these heavy knees, and his grapples are going to be shit. He's going to be 87 rated. He's not 99, he's 87. Because I'm up and coming. I've not earned it yet.
I haven't earned it. I want to struggle. I told you, me and Olivia, I don't know how. I was always talking about trying to get into wrestling training. And she was sort of against it because she's scared of getting hurt and her.
She's not taking care of you.
Now she's come full 360 on it and now wants to start practicing.
She wants to get involved.
We were practicing me catching her jumping at me. We've got videos of her jumping off a bench and me catching her in the air.
Bench. You did this outside?
Yeah, we're doing this outside. My friend, this was in Bournemouth. We're waiting for a friend to meet us at a park, and she's like, I think we were looking at it, and then she was like, I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely do that. I can catch you. She's like, do you actually reckon you can catch me? I was like, I can catch you. I can catch you out the air.
When did she get out of the hospital?
It was fine. I can lift my woman. I'm stronger than I look.
Okay.
But yeah, so the signing up for Hustle might happen. Might happen soon.
If I could get over my autism, I'd love to be your mouthpiece. I want to be your Paul Heyman.
You could be my Paul Heyman. You'd just be a very
Really shy.
Yeah. It's like I can't guarantee it, but I believe strongly in this.
My client would like a word with you, and I'll just get out of the ring and walk off. No, I would happily be there just to be the guy taking all the moves at your feet to save you.
You'll just take bumps.
Yeah, I'd love that. I would fucking love that.
I think you're there to really. I think you're there just to undermine me. You're waiting for the moment where everyone actually wants you to tear off your top and get in the ring.
No one wants that.
And turn on me and finally hit me with the chair.
And then they find out I've not been doing wrestling training. So it'll just be you battering me. Look what you did to me.
Shame that Matt didn't train.
Yeah, but he was the best pure striker in the world. He won the World Cup.
Stop. Pure striker. Between him and the Undertaker, I never believed those claims.
How can you not believe the Undertaker? You know how good his
He's
strikes
a
are.
mortician.
Boo! 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 Boy.
The best hand to hand. I'm like, where did this come from? He was a dead guy.
It's because he's got MMA gloves. They give him +10 striking.
Oh, absurd! Absolutely absurd. Are you ready for your quiz? Actually,
Oh, absolutely.
I've got an interesting quiz. I feel like we can maybe warm up to it, but there's a theme to it. It's not been touched on at all.
Okay, so we are left turning. Lovely.
We are fully left turning.
I have immediately thought of the best fucking counter to this as well. We'll see how much time we got. We'll end up with 2 quizzes in one show.
You know, I'm always like scared that you're actually just going to completely smash this.
Well, like you do.
As in, like, when it comes to it, I'm like, oh no, he's actually probably going to do really well. I don't think I've made this too hard. I feel like we've had a little bit of, you know, going back in the day when things came out. I feel like there's been a bit of that going on. You know, when we're talking about these games and the ones we've played, we didn't really talk too much about the ones we played, but we did a little bit. I want to talk about debuts. You know, one of my favorite things in this is the wealth of knowledge you have about certain wrestlers, especially their early days, all the things that I've missed. But I want to know how well you actually know people's origins.
Fuck.
So I've got a list of 10 wrestlers. Or people associated with WWE.
Are these 10 wrestlers or 10 wrestlers' gimmicks?
I will be kind and I will allow... So what I've been a bit biased and I've gone with the Fed. So I want their debuts in WWE. I want the year.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Just the year.
But if you can't give me the year, which I think is crazy, and some of these maybe your memory might work a little bit different. If you can't give me the year, and I need the tablet for this one because I haven't written all the details, but if you can give me what feud they started with or who their first match was, I will allow that.
Okay.
That. So are you ready?
I'll have to be.
For debuts, the quiz. I haven't got a fancy name for it. All right, I think we'll start off with an easy one. He's a recent inductee to the Hall of Fame, Triple H. When did Triple H actually have his first match with WWF?
95?
Straight in with it. It was actually 94.
Oh.
It's interesting because it seems like he had a match, had maybe a bit of a short feud, and then sort of was in and out of things. But he had his first decent feud. I think he appeared. He was in WrestleMania in '95.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but he had debuted the year before.
Yeah, I mean this feud's going to be a tricky one. For him to come in like that, I can remember him feuding with people like Goldust. Goldust is the main one I remember. That Urban Arschweister. But that would have been when he was getting punished. So I'm thinking that's probably what, 2 years later, 96?
I would never have known this, the first match. Like, I was like...
Is it a well-known guy?
No. It feels rude to say so. No, but...
Like Duke the dumpster or something.
You could pass on it, it's fine.
They're like Hakushi or something. I got nothing.
What is going on outside?
I don't know. I'm glad they're happy.
I'm glad they're happy.
Yeah.
Wait, let me, because I didn't write it down. Wait, it was. Oh wait, no, I told you a lie. It was 95.
Hey!
Yeah, where did they get 94? I think maybe he was signed in 94, but didn't actually appear as 95. I think maybe that's what I wrote.
But this had been, because he would have been Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah.
He was terrorizing in WCW.
Terrorizing.
Great.
Tells you
name.
everything about what sort of person he really was. Yeah, I told you. No, I must have written the wrong number.
Let's release all the gay women. That's what kind of guy he is.
Is that what you're saying about what just happened?
Take a look at who got released, and then come back to me.
Let's release the gay women.
All we needed was Billy and Chuck to get released, so we would have had the whole shebang.
Because aren't Dakota and Shayna dating?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. When did Stephanie debut?
Oh.
This one should be easy.
I mean, in terms of her first match,
I didn't want to go as far as first match because that's crazy.
it would have been 99.
Yeah. Her first match was actually way later.
It's 2000, wasn't it?
Well, no. Her actually being in, like, she was involved in angles and she had, like, conflicts, but she didn't have an actual match for, like, years. Because she was part of the Four Corners.
Yeah, and it would have been that year where she had her first real run in a match. Because she was the women's champion that year.
I didn't
in
even
2000.
check that. I forgot about her women's champion.
Yeah, it was
Didn't she cheat to win?
every single time.
Yeah.
Like, and the best part was, she wasn't like fighting all the shitty divas or anything. She was fighting like Lita, Jacqueline, Ivory, and winning. And it was just, these days, everyone would be fucking fuming. She can't keep getting away with this. What's this? If I was Jackie, I'd go to AEW where they'll respect her and shit. They will feed her to Sasha Banks.
Moving on. When I went a bit random, I tried to pick people that I was like, let's make this a bit trickier. When was R-Truth's WWE debut?
Ah. See. Initially, I'm going to say 2000 as K Quick.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Do you remember how he was brought in? You got the point, but do you remember how he was brought in?
No, I don't remember how he was brought in.
He was brought in by Road Dogg.
Really? The whole gimmick, he's my black friend.
Basically.
Really?
Like, Road Dogg brought him in and, yeah, they were a tag team for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then he was actually briefly part, when Billy Gunn came back, he was basically part of that little tag team for a little bit. So he was technically kind of part of DX.
Oh my god. That would, I feel like with the run killings we have now, he could pull that off. 100%.
Yeah.
Easily. I still remember, because I remember him coming out in the 2001 Rumble, and not knowing who the fuck he was.
Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I'm not racist or anything. I've never seen him before. I feel compelled to call
Booker
the
T wearing a
police.
shirt.
Okay,
Cut
going
that out.
going a bit random. When did Chavo Guerrero debut with WWFE?
2001.
Damn, you're good. You're quick. What was it?
It's logic. Because he was WCW. So he would have come in the invasion.
It was the invasion.
My logic to me as well is kind of, a lot of this is kind of, you think back to the bulk of where you first saw them.
Yeah.
Let's go a year before that.
You 1 year before that.
Yeah. Like I remember Chavo when he had that funky ass entrance that Eddie had. Boom, 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 boom. So good. And it would have been Ray Ray's debut when he hit the 619 goal.
The 619.
I liked Chavo. I always thought he was older than Eddie, just because of his hair.
I think that they are brothers, right?
Well, Eddie was his uncle.
I was never sure if that was actually like true.
Eddie and Chavo Senior are brothers. But it's one of those where there's like, Chavo Senior was probably like 10 years older than
He's
Eddie.
a lot older than Eddie, I think.
Yeah. He's your nephew.
Going a bit more modern, do you remember when Damian Priest debuted in NXT?
This one will stump me.
I thought I'd go for a mix of modern people and older people.
Yeah, it makes sense. Weirdly, I feel like I'm going to do better with the older people.
Yeah, of course, because you'd hate modern wrestling.
I don't hate modern wrestling. I'm just sick of it and wish it would end. Because I didn't see much of his NXT run. And I know he wasn't there for that long.
I'm not sure. I wasn't watching. I know when he debuted on the main roster.
Didn't he have a different name when he debuted?
I don't think so. I think it was Damian Priest.
He was...
He did the whole Damien and the Priest thing. The difference between Damien and the Priest. But God, that was lame.
It still is, but he's kind of transcended it. He's all right. Wasn't he like Punishment Martinez or something at one point?
Oh, maybe Punishment or Punisher.
The Punisher.
Which also
I'm gonna say,
Mark had that name.
God damn it. I'm gonna say 2016.
I thought it was 2018.
18. Fuck, he really did kind of move through quite quickly. There was the whole lockdown limbo.
Yeah.
I could kind of imagine him taking a little bit of time.
Throwing it to a lady.
Woo!
Do you remember when Natalia debuted? And what year that would have been?
It would have been 2007 or 8. I can picture it as well. Because...
Wasn't sure how much of a Natalia fan you were, so I was like, maybe this will stump you, or maybe you'll just know.
Would it have been when SmackDown had Know Your Enemy as the theme song?
I wouldn't know that.
These are the weird ways that I
figure
these things
Know Your
out.
Enemy was as in Rage Against the Machine.
Green Day.
Oh.
You're showing WWE too much respect.
I'm like, what?
They took one of the worst Green Day albums and one of their worst singles. There's the theme song. Do you know the enemy, Roy? So who's Roy? I don't know.
Who's Roy?
2008.
You're correct.
Yeah!
She was brought out around, like, it was doing like a Heart Foundation revival sort of gimmick.
D.H. Smith and Tyson Kidd.
Then she was first wrestling.
Yeah, wasn't she? She was like a redhead back then as well, or something.
Yeah, the picture of her looks always barely recognisable to now.
Yeah, it does make me...
Especially to now.
She's aged very well, but she's almost become a caricature of her own face. So you take all the features and just exaggerate them. It's natty. Including the boobs.
Going a bit further back, this one I think might be the curveball. I'm throwing it in now. Do you know when Rikishi debuted? And we've actually discussed this kind of. There was a time when we were going through roster lists and were surprised by something. And I will tell you now, he did not go by Rikishi for a while.
Fatu.
Not even.
I'm going to go 93. Or is it 94? You've got to go on my first answer. I respect that.
He was 92.
Oh, shit!
He was brought in with Samu as like the new head shrinkers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was part of the tag team. But yeah.
Oh, he's been
crazy. He'd been around for most of the 90s.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
But then when he kind of came in late 99, it felt like an entirely new guy.
Yeah.
That's
Like he
a
was young.
repackage.
He looks like a chubby version of his sons, of the Usos.
Yeah.
Like he looks like, I don't know, give Solo normal coloured hair, but give him more of Yokozuna's like face, and like he looks like that when he first came in, but also still dressed in that sort of hip hoppy 90s style, like leather jackets, like. But it was crazy, like yeah, he was, because it made sense. When I was reading it, the in they had to the industry was just obvious. Like, you know, they were related, like I said, related to Yokozuna, like it was basically his cousin. You know, Anna Whiteys had obviously, you know, so many of them already been through the industry, and he was like, yeah, let me bring my little nephew and him in, and you know, and then that cycle just continued. But like the fact that he was there before The Rock as well, surprising. But obviously, yeah, it was all the same.
When that whole angle came out, I did it for The Rock, and bro, you had your opportunity.
Yeah, you might do it for you, bro. Like. All right, moving on from Rikishi, we've got everybody's favorite, LA Knights.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
I mean, you kind of forget that he's been on the main roster for like 2.5 years now already. That's not even including his like maximum male model thing, whatever it is.
So I'm going to go back to again his NXT appearance.
2021.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Just feels right.
It's funny because of the people on this list. Obviously, you got some absolute legends, but in terms of people that've been wrestling for a while, he's probably been wrestling some of the longest here. Like the fact that his debut's 3 years after Damian Priest, who, to be fair to both of them, they're both in their 40s. They both they'd both been in like developmental since the early 2000s.
Yes.
Looking at, I think Damian Priest was like been through like some of like just below like OVW and all that Ring of Honor like in like 2005, 6, and like same with LA Knight. They both had been just around forever, just trying to get that in, trying to finally be taken seriously.
Yeah, I mean, at least with Knight, when he was doing the whole Eli Drake thing, he was kind of on TV.
Yeah,
People knew who he was, so there was probably a little bit more hype surrounding him than there was Punishment Martinez or whatever. But even the whole, what was essentially the LA Knight character was kind of there for like 10 years ago.
Mm.
And it was probably a more kind of like expansive version of it, like using like the whole dummy thing and shoes of a champion.
Dummy, yeah. with Damien, I think it's just funny because like he really has been just some of those people where it's just he hasn't actually changed his gimmick at all. He's really just been the big goth guy.
Yeah.
Just the big guy who just wants to be the big guy.
Is
like,
that a gimmick?
Well, yeah. Like, I think, you know, unfairly people are sort of like, oh, he just want to be Undertaker. I was like, no, like, if anything, what's funny is he's a less cartoonish Undertaker, and you lot take him less seriously than the guy who rolls his eyes backwards and pretends to be a fucking phantom. Like, how are we mocking him? Like, we're making fun of the wrong guy here. He just wears black, has tattoos.
Yeah. The dude wears MMA gloves. Dead people don't wear MMA gloves.
Before this quickly turns into a rib-on.
Oh, you gotta let it. Come on.
I
We're
will say
doing the making up.
You have basically passed this.
It's about time. I've not won one of these in quite a long time.
Next we're going to be Trish Stratus.
2000.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah?
It was actually one of the easier ones. I wanted to take it off, but I was like, no, let's be nice. Maybe it'll throw him off.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll think it's 99 or something.
Yeah, like I would have thought, like, oh, maybe she had that one little match in there when she was developing. It's like, let's see what she can do. No, she came in as Vince's bit on the side.
It was all around the same time. So the Steph to Trish was actually all within the same sort of story. Like he brought Stephanie in. So obviously we had the Vince McMahon character, Vince versus Stone Cold, and then he started doing like the family gimmick.
She did TNA first as well. Test and Albert. She came in as the valet for Test and Albert as a tag team. The whole thing was just tits and ass. That was the joke.
Was her introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So she would have gone from that. Then TNA would have broke up. Like Albert would have got injured or something maybe, and then she would have, because they're like, shit, this woman's beautiful.
Vince was like, get rid of me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make her my new assistant. That's gonna be the whole angle. We're gonna make out. You're not actually gonna make out.
Linda, come here. Meet me, Trish.
What would your wife say? Oh, let's get her involved. That's a great idea. Let's get her involved. She can
Where's that wheelchair? I'll sit in that. I'll sit there and I'll watch. Oh.
Right. Again, you've smashed this. You've only gotten 2 wrong. So, let's say you need to get 8 out of 10 to pass.
Where's that come from?
No, I'm joking. To be honest with you, I didn't actually decide. I was going to say half. Like, you need to get at least half of it, but you've decimated this.
What am I on now? Have I got 6 right?
You have 7.
That's 7.
7 out of 9.
So we're on the last one.
We're on the last one.
Let's hear the last one, then I'll decide how many the pass mark is.
I'm hesitant because I don't think the last one's even that good. It was just Becky Lynch. I wanted one more woman.
Oh, God. It would have been, in NXT, it would have been 2014, right?
Are you sure about that?
No, but we'll go for it.
I'm gonna push you to tell me when her first match was. I don't know what that is, but I want that just to make it a bit more interesting. Who was her first match?
Her first match? Charlotte. She would have got fucking demolished.
You're just guessing that, aren't you?
Probably, yeah. She would have done her little river dance out to the ring.
It was 2014. It was Summer Rae. And
Summer Rae. She won.
She beat Summer Rae.
Oh, thank God. Oh, I'm surprised. Summer Rae really got dropped to NXT quick. It was only a year ago that she was debuting at Mania.
Yeah, she was in NXT for a year.
Who, Becky?
Yeah.
It must have been a year and a half, because...
No, it was like June to July. Literally, June 2014, July 2015, she was on Raw.
It does kind of shock me how quickly they got her character figured out. But...
Not saying that. What we got going on now?
She's angry?
To be fair, I predicted we'd get this version of Becky Lynch. I was like, it was obvious. It was like, let's just go back to cocky Becky.
Yeah, this is what she does best. Roasting people on Twitter. And just genuinely being really cool.
I will say the little fight last week, maybe, or this week, I can't remember. I think it's mixed up. But between her and Lyra, it started to look real. It wasn't like they got a bit carried away and then started getting to a bit of a shoot. But then they were like, oh no, let's gather ourselves. We need to finish this angle.
They probably enjoyed it being Irish. It was like
Let's
just
have
a little
scrap. Let's have
Oh, would you look at that here, right?
But yeah, no, I think the debut thing is interesting. I'm sort of interested now to see how long I'm going to commit to watching wrestling and seeing like if anything like what happened with me when I was younger happened again, like I dipped out for like 8 years. Who's still gonna be around and who's like debut? I think that's why I'm so invested in NXT now. I think I want that ability to like go away and then come back and be like, oh shit, how's like Obafemi and Trick Williams doing now? Like, you know, because like these people that are, you know, especially people like. Especially people that is in their 20s still, like, you know, I think of like your Dom Mysterios and your Rhea Ripleys, like, as long as their bodies don't go horribly, they could still be in this game for like, in like 20 years.
Yeah, and they would be completely different characters, completely different wrestlers. They might even like physically like change to the point where it's like this guy who was kind of like nimble and flipping everywhere is now just like a fucking bruiser. And it's something I appreciate with NXT. I'll get your opinion on it in a second. With WWE and the main roster, you don't really get that kind of story anymore, where it's kind of this unknown person who works their way up the roster, because you've either seen them in NXT or they've come in from a different company.
Yeah.
So they come in at a little bit of an elevated position. Like Dominic Mysterio, don't get me wrong, yes, Rey Mysterio's his dad. But when he came in, it felt like nepotism to an extent, because he wasn't that good. But he feels like the only example of someone who's kind of developed in front of everyone's eyes, character-wise, in ring-wise, and it feels a little bit more old school. But with you watching NXT, you get to see these people come in green as fuck.
Yeah.
And then you get to look at them and go, he's got it, or she's got it. Is there anyone like that now where they're quite low down the roster in NXT, or they're a little bit, they haven't got it figured out, but you're like, they're going to do well?
Yeah, there's a few. There's quite a few. Like, I think Jada Parker's gonna be fun. Like, honestly, it's a shame to say it, but like, it's mostly the women. Like, I think they've done a good job of like, I don't know if it's intentionally pushing or gathering a predominant sort of, because I feel like most of the interesting rivalries are going on between women right now. Some of the pushes are with the female talent, and they're the most interesting, because I think the rivalries amongst women are the things that need a bit of a breath of fresh air. It's sort of been the same crap over and over again, and even with the men. But I think, yeah, there's a few people where I'm like, they understand that obviously their character needs to have growth. I think it's the ones that aren't trying to be like the biggest and baddest from the get go, and they're obviously willing to take L's randomly here and there as well. And I think that's the thing I love about NXT is like the wins are all over the place. Like people just seem to randomly lose. I'm like, that's good. I think that is good. That shows there's space for growth, and they're putting people over early at points when you don't expect them to. So yeah, I think my main people. I think Jada Parker's great. I think she's got that perfect level of attitude and size where she could be an interesting threat, but she, similar to like Rhea, she goes down well and she sells really well when she gets beaten. I'm like, that's the sort of thing you want to see. Someone who could look dominant and sell, chats a lot of shit, but also gets humbled very quickly. That's more like the perfect package in that sense. I think that's fun to watch.
They can do a little bit of everything, almost, whether it's putting someone else over or elevating themselves. You could see them in any situation.
Yeah.
So,
I'm enjoying. I know he's not WWE OG, but Ricky Starks.
Oh yeah.
Because I never got a look at him at AEW. I like him. I think he's a fun person. He's good on the mic. I think they gave him from the get go, which is sort of just coming in as the outsider, coming as NXT when there's all these rivalries going on, and sort of just being this guy like, why is everyone so angry? Like everyone's just giving him attitude, like you're an outsider. He's got like a sort of pre-established rivalry with Ethan Page. And just this, like, yeah, everyone's like angsty towards him, and he's like, what's everyone's problem? Why are you all so angry? Like, chill, guys, chill. Like,
I've got a wrestling figure.
I'm better than you anyway, but like, and he's just fun. Like, again, he does that good balance of like, he came in, got a few good quick wins, won a championship, but then when he gets jumped, he sells well. It's not like, like, he gets back on his feet.
He basically won that belt by accident, didn't he? Or was that Ethan Page? Kind of just fell into the pin. I think it was Page.
No, that was Page. No, he earned it. He's all earned his.
Oh, good. He didn't win the main belt, did he?
No, he's just the North American champion. Cool.
Something I kind of enjoy about, maybe it is why I should give NXT a go and try watching it weekly, is it's kind of why I've been enjoying going late in Orient recently. Because when you go to that top level, you kind of get a little bit more like, this has to be good. This is perfect. Why isn't it the way I like it? And then the other people in the community around you get like that. So even if you're not feeling that particular way, you kind of get sucked into it. It takes away your enjoyment of it. Whereas if you're watching something like NXT, where it kind of feels like the stakes are a little bit lower, it's a little bit more, you can try something new, a little bit more lighthearted. It feels like you're watching it for the right reasons, which is to enjoy yourself and have fun.
It's finally got to the point where NXT feels like you're watching high production independent. Which actually leads me on to a point I was gonna make, because I had this written down in the note and I just reminded myself of it. I'd say in the last like 4 months, I've maybe caught Collision, not in its entirety.
Oh God.
And I think I've decided what my issue is with AEW. And I think I've maybe even said this before, but it feels like AEW is trying to be up there, trying to intentionally contend with the production value. And I think that's the main thing for me, is the production, the presentation that WWE has. Without any sort of respect or, you know, appreciation. Because like WWE have been crafting this presentation for 30 plus years. You know, Raw didn't look like this when it started. It didn't look like this in 2000, it didn't look like this in 2010. It's worked its way up. It's been a progression. And that's from analytics, responding to your fan base, a lot of things. All these things, you know, learning from mistakes. And I feel like AEW can't, it's almost like they're too proud to admit that they maybe are closer to an NXT in terms of you are very, very high produced independent. You're not WWE's in a class of its own. They are the major league. They're the only major league. Everyone else just needs to accept that you're not performing, you know, they're not hustle, you know, they're not like smaller and independent.
They're not underground.
Yes, but All In you've done some amazing sellout shows, but your weekly shows, which I think is another thing that they haven't appreciated, they've jumped straight into trying to have 2 weekly shows.
Yeah.
And I think that's their downfall. Like, you are trying to be that WWE where you've got 6 hours of wrestling content a week, but you kind of don't.
No, they're doing it because they feel obligated to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm going to use a football analogy again. You know when like you've got your smaller team who gets like 7,000 people come see them a week, and you think, that's good, you're a big football team, people love you. And then they go to Wembley, and it's like the playoff final or something, and all of a sudden they have got, 40,000 people in the stadium.
Their fans show up because of that game.
Yeah, but they wouldn't move to Wembley, and they wouldn't get that every week.
Exactly.
They might improve afterwards, and you might get, say, like, that 7,000, you're like, we need to upgrade the stadium to 10,000. But you don't jump straight to 20. You take it incrementally based on the demand.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the numbers for Dynamite have been pretty good. But you also got to remember that they are kind
of numbers. It's for me. It's like it's what I'm actually seeing when I watch it, and I'm like, there's something that just makes me feel like I feel bad for like the people behind the scenes. I'm feeling like you're working yourselves too hard for no reason, and unfortunately, it sort of shows. It sort of, there's just something off about this presentation. I'm like, the show gets boring. You're held together by like really. I feel like I really feel that need. Like I'm really sat here trying to wait for the last like half an hour. I'm waiting for the main event sort of thing. I'm like,
yes.
I always get that with WWE. Like WWE and even NXT, I'm like, I'm invested into like the whole show. There'll be parts where I'm like, okay, don't care about this on the phone. You know, there'll be a random tag match or a random rivalry, especially with NXT. Is people like they'll, you know, every now and again there'll just be 2 people you do not know.
Yeah, and it's like you might give them a chance, but they're gonna have to fight harder because. Oh, that was cool. That was cool. Now I'll pay attention.
But with AEW, and I watched 2 collisions back to back, and the first thing I was like, the stories aren't compelling or well written enough to go over these weekly shows. You know, it's like, I think again, this is where I'm like, you know, I look at it this way: you if everything's leading up to a culmination at like the PLE, and there's 1 PLE a month or every other month, whatever, 10 weeks, the weekly show isn't actually good enough. Like, you know, that 8 episode lead up to that finale, each in every increment of what's happening is like, it's not compelling enough, and I think that's what's letting them down.
I shouldn't have drank 4 alcohol-free fucking quarter bags. Made it.
No, just say you're back. I was talking for a bit, and then I got bored.
Oh, so you just been vibing?
Just been enjoying the silence. No, I was actually talking to myself about wackiness in wrestling, and how, you know, you don't have so much crazy stuff like, you know, women giving birth to hands. But I caught myself out complaining about wackiness being gone because I was like, oh, there's nothing silly going on. Then I remembered Grande Americano. I'm like,
Oh.
no, there is still silly shit
Mwah.
happening. There
Mwah.
is still silly shit happening in wrestling. So yeah, I suppose I just need to silence myself. But I do feel like we no longer. Okay, no, because even that exact example is that I was like, we no longer try and like bend reality to like, you know, to the point where we're being so overtly silly. But I'm like, no, that is so overtly silly. We know it's Chad Gable.
Yeah, but it's more kind of just like a silly guy who you can believe the guy under the mask is serious, but he's just got this stupid idea, and he thinks everyone else believes him. Like, what keeps it grounded now is the fact that we do view it as more of like you got the more sports-based presentation, and that kind of makes it so that like it's harder to get away with doing silly things, but when it works, it makes it so much better. Like having that juxtaposition of this dude pretending to be someone completely different from the Gulf of America,
Yeah,
is so much better when you've got this. Well, this guy's got a 3-0 record, and somehow we just never seen him in the sea. I don't know why I've turned into. I was gonna say Foghorn Leghorn.
Okay.
I say, boy.
I'll say. I'm glad, Derry. But I think at the same time, I said this before. I was like, I want us to try and put off some absurd like ending to this where we put off the mask and it's not Chad Gable somehow. I don't know how we pull it off. God knows how, but we need it. Yeah, I'll be honest. We need more silly stuff with the women. Like, I feel like the peak of that really was Chelsea Green's run.
Yeah, which is a shame it's over. Do you think that part of
abrupt? I feel like someone's on drugs out here. They're like, I think we need a title change. We're like, yeah, sorry, Chelsea.
it didn't have to
We
be Zelina?
we rolled some dice and it was you.
Did Zelina Vega win it? Why?
Because I think someone owes Zelina Vega a bet. Like, oh yeah, you've never won a championship, have you? We gave you that Queen of the Ring title that back when you won it meant absolutely nothing.
Then they gave it to the one related to The Rock next year or something. It's like, title match. Go on, love.
Well, there was a gap of like a few years, wasn't it? Between the first and the second Queen
Maybe
of the
like
Ring.
2 or 3. 2 or 3
But yeah,
years.
it did like because that back then it was like, oh yeah, you just get to parade around as a royal, just call yourself king or queen.
I don't dislike Zelina Vega, but like she's just never done anything for me.
Yeah, I you know
She
I
was
feel like I've
great
come
with
in-
Andrade. But
I feel like I've come in late with her and like I've got respect for her, but like again, yeah, right now there's nothing going on with her. They paired her and Alexa Bliss randomly last night.
did they? Why?
I don't know. I've literally looked at some highlights. I'm not watching the live shows. I don't know what the story is there. Alexa Bliss sort of just randomly, they're like, oh yeah, we paid for you to come back. The whole thing that they're talking about, oh, you know, what's her contract? She wants a
certain amount of money, and then like, okay, we'll pay you. We paid her, and then they haven't used her. So I'm like, what the hell?
We got her though. She's ours.
She's here. No, I've heard there's a from what I last checked, Wyatt Six like Bo whatever like Uncle Hardy's injured, so
Dallas is injured.
which is so it's such an L for there's 6 of them in the group, but the leader's injured, so you all can just stay at home. You can all
The rest of you are useless without this guy.
What are we gonna do with it? Just do random tag team matches with the other members? God, why would we do that?
Gonna job out until he comes back. Instead, you can wait till he's back and then job out anyway. White 6 sucks, man. Like, where are we going with this?
We all know why it existed.
Yeah. Respectfully, let
We
it
had
go.
our fun. It's not going anywhere. It's I feel like I didn't really say it out loud, but I feel like I called this when it happened. I was like, this won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, all due respect to Bo Windham, whatever his real name is, but like, he's been struggling to find his footing in WWE since like 2010.
Yeah.
Like, as sad as it is that his brother died, his brother had a thing, and he's sort of, you know, paying homage to his brother, but it's still not the same. And it's not, and if anything, it's as harsh as it sounds, it's not your gimmick. You're not even doing your gimmick.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It can't. It's not going to have any legs.
I'm sure back when they were going to actually go ahead and kind of do it together when Bray was still alive. I'm sure it would have had a lot more sentimentality to it, and they might have had some ideas of where it's going to go. But at the end of the day, Uncle Howdy, which is this is basically what the character is. It's Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
Is still a side character to Bray Wyatt. So you're always going to have this feeling of you're missing something.
Maybe Alexa can fix it, because my thought with any sort of like new stable like this, like if you want to get any legs, you need a bigger name. It's sort of like the Road to Reach the Judgment Day really lasted because they were headed by Edge.
Yeah.
You know, that never would have worked if they just announced themselves as a Judgment Day and just came out like this. No, it worked because they had a big name to sell it, who did a lot of the promo talking to begin with. I think the thing that's been hinted at that could save this is having Alexa sort of head this group now, like have her come back and do something. But like, because you know she's more recognizable, she's probably way better on the mic than Bo is, and
yeah,
there's a bit more. You know, you're gonna get a bigger pop with her at the front of the group.
Yeah.
It does make it the Wyatt 7, which doesn't make sense, but I'm just...
I mean, there is the there is the possibility that she would just take over from Bo, and then Bo would benefit from what the Judgment Day did to Edge more than Edge benefited from it. Like, give him, like, kind of, like, kick him out of this group, which means a lot to him. Yeah. And then he kind of just goes, fuck, now I need to be me. I need to do something big.
Now you need to believe.
The other day, I saw
deep cut
I saw the gif of him running around the ring like that and running through El Torito, and I lost it. We need El Torito back. That's what we need.
Who was El Torito?
He was the
No, as in like who was underneath the mask? Who was it? Who was that?
Chad Gable again. From the Gulf of America, El Torito, ole!
Because what used to come up with what were they going by?
Matadores.
Yeah,
it was just Epico and Hunico, wasn't it?
Idiots. Like I think that was one of the few situations where like it was a gimmick change and you didn't realize it was two people that had been around this whole time.
Those damn bastards who keep like they just change their shape. And, they're on top again! How do they do it?
Oh, I'm yawning. What's wrong with me? I definitely have been drinking today.
Oh, you've been drinking already?
Yeah. I came from. I was going to go to the thing after this, but I decided to go to it first.
Oh, okay.
I just got up earlier when.
Oh.
Can't wait to go back. I'm getting old.
This is completely off topic and nothing to do with the podcast. How was it around the Emirates Stadium recently?
I don't know. I avoid game times.
Oh, I'm so happy.
The Arsenal lose something.
Eileen doesn't listen to this anyway, so I'm vibes. But I'm so glad Arsenal lost.
To who?
Well, recently everyone. But they're out of the
everyone.
They're out of the Champions League. And have you noticed recently how, like, for the first time in years, everyone's wearing Arsenal shirts?
I've seen a lot of Arsenal shirts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're going back in the cupboard now because they're not winning anything. Fucking Anna from our old job is an Arsenal fan.
Is she really though?
Yeah, she was posting about it when they were winning.
Oh God.
It's like, where's this been the whole time? So,
I'll maybe pay attention to the next season. When's the next season?
August. You gotta come Leyton Orient with me.
Ugh, no. No, I watch from afar. I've got basketball. Actually, no, maybe I'm into WNBA now. I'm joining a fantasy league. I've brought everyone into watching women's basketball. No comments.
No, you don't need to comment because me and Ireland go to Arsenal women. It's fun. I like it. I like supporting the women.
I feel like women's football is better than women's basketball. Is all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Arsenal managed to get 50,000 people into that stadium for the North London derby, and I had a great time, and they won 5-0. And genuinely, I think women's football has come a long fucking way.
Yeah. Well, it has a World Cup. Basketball doesn't.
Oh.
There's no Women's Basketball World Cup.
See, fucking the English women's basketball team, they didn't have the opportunity to get a train line named after them. It's not fair.
Train line.
What's the English women's basketball team called? Like the Badgers or something? We could have had the Badger line.
Is that actually what his name after? No, I'm about to say, like, what?
No, the Lioness line is named after the England women, though.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Like, because lions exist. I just assume it was just named after lions.
We really like lions here.
Yeah, I don't know why. They're not native to this country.
No, but for some reason we got 3 of them on our badge and we love them. Traylons on a shirt.
This entire little nation is just deluded. Like, why is there a dragon on the Welsh flag?
Saint David? Saint David.
Slayed a real dragon.
Slayed a real dragon. In Llandwy.
The Bible's more believable than that. And that's probably where we should end the podcast. God. Got cancelled because I said the Bible was more realistic than dragons in Wales.
That was one of the safest holy texts to rib.
Good night. This is gonna be a long series of beep and then good night.
That was one of our most cancelable episodes.
I don't know what happened. We just descended.